Welcome, disc golf fans, to Gatekeeper Media production of the 2019 Philadelphia Disc Golf Open, driven by Innova Discs, and also sponsored by T Millennium Discs, which you'll hear about later from Greg Barsby. There's that Scorpius. So we're here for the back 10 coverage of the final round, with Steve Brinster leading by 5 strokes over Devin Frederick and Kevin Gleason, with Chris Villa and local Jason Kofer in the back of the card. We're going to start a hole number 11, 262 feet, par 3. The Mini Blender is the nickname of this hole. Devin Frederick going to try to flip one up through the fairway here. Tight shoot, hits an early tree, but that counts as a fairway hit on U-disc, so he's not worried. Nice easy flip up from Steve Brinster, probably a Star Leopard. Hitting the hill about basket high. He's going to like that. You can see why he's leading this open division. Gleason ripping one straight down the middle. Chucking that Vandal, hitting a tree right in front of the basket, kicking to the right. He's going to be tapping in for a birdie, trying to keep pace with the leader. Jason Kofer also flipping up. It's drifting a little bit to the right and unfortunately does catch a tree midway down there. Villa nice and smooth. Drifting a little bit left, but that's the place to miss. Taking those guardian trees in the front and the ones laying across down out of play. So Frederick going to try to recover here. Not happy with that. Hitting a tree and kicking right. So he will be in the shrubbery. Interesting recovery shot here. It looks like he caught a branch and hit those trees right in front. Kofer with a beautiful upshot, using that slight upsoap behind the basket, so he'll be tapping and save his par. Leonizer approach from Frederick. He really wants this one to be over with. Villa a little high. Oh, Brinster hitting that high right side, doing his best impression of an MA3 player, but still carding the birdie, and that's what's important. Kofer finishes up his par. Villa will do the same. Frederick, thankful that that's over with his double bogey. And finally, Gleason will tap in for his birdie. There's a happy camper. Showing off that prototype Vandal from Dynamic Discs. Jason Kofer, 5 birdies on the front 10. Would have been one heck of a hot 10, but he was also the only player to double bogey, and also took 2 more bogeys as well. So overall, it's an up and down, and that's disc golf. Hole number 12, 460 feet, nicknamed the Dream Crusher. This does remind you somewhat of hole 4 at Waco, just not as difficult behind with the drop off and not as quite as tight on the opening, but you do have to play a very technical shot with a slight fade to give yourself an open second shot. Gleason hyzering out a little bit early, probably got a little bit higher than he wanted to, didn't push far enough. Kofer continuing to be a lumberjack here, really taking his aim at a bunch of trees here today. Villa nice and smooth, maybe a little too smooth, didn't hook up quite as much as he probably wanted. Frederick letting go a little high, and he's out early as well. Near one of the tee pads there. Kofer trying to recover, just get out of the open. Looks like he catches the blue tees there. Interesting note about this course is the tee markers. Actually, the originals are blue. The original tee pads from 1977, and the yellow were established in '84, and then the red, or the longer tees, established more recently in 1991. So a little bit different set than some people might be used to if you were to visit the course. Villa trying to get out of the open here on his recovery shot, and not exactly where he wanted to be, I'd imagine. Brinster also scrambling. I'm not sure if he was expecting that to pan out more or if he was trying to throw a roller. This hole can make even most experienced players look rather pedestrian with their game. Gleason just pancaking that one out of there with a thumber. Villa from one knee trying to recover and salvage at par. Brinster in the shrubbery. You know, I think he wanted to give that one a little bit more air and have it pan out a little bit closer, but he's putting. Gleason with his upshot, giving it a run, going a little bit long. Frederick just trying to get up there. Hit a little bit of hard pan and probably got more than he wanted to out of that one. Brinster unable to save his par. You wonder if he's pressing a little bit or if his nerves are getting to him. Gleason is just fine. Just banging change on that one. Frederick finishing up for bogey. Second bogey in a row there for Frederick. Having a bit of a rough go of it. Villa finishes up his par. Brinster taking a bogey on that one. Not real happy. Not sure what that tree did to him, but I think he's a little bit more disappointed in himself for not recovering like he wanted to. Gopher finish up with his par. So we're going to move over to hole 13 now. After a little bit of a spotlight on Kevin Gleason from Maryland. A terrapin, perhaps. Really does have a very unique putt and release. It's the 13th hole. Tying into hole 11 here on the local course is 11 extended, 280 feet. A lot of these wooded shots are setting up well for a slight hyzer flip up and pushing straight with a soft fade, if not completely flat like Chris Villa's shot here, although it's going to fade out a little bit at the end, trying to make its way through the trees. Probably edge a circle there. He'll have a birdie look. Brinster turning this one up a little bit. Fading back. Got that pretty Huck Lab die on it spinning down there. That's going to be a tap-in birdie. That's exactly what he needs after his last hole. Gleason giving it a rip. That one's fading a little bit early. He'll be over there with Villa. Let's see what Frederick has for us. Didn't get it quite turned over enough. That hit a tree. Not sure what kind of line he's going to have a little bit that, but he's in circle 2. Kofor recovering there. Not as well as he would like. Frederick giving it a run. Good run. Should be an easy par for him. Kofor still scrambling. Oh, and does save the par. Hitting just there at the rings at the top of the chains and dropping in the basket. Villa's release was a little awkward there. was online hitting the pole, but Gleason shows him how it's done from just about the same spot. Pretty happy about that one. Getting his second bird on the back nine. Frederick finishing up. Brinster with the tap-in bird. If Gleason's trying to catch him, he's definitely going to have to make a run with Brinster matching his birdies on 11 and 13. Villa's going to flip in for his par. Good to see these competitive guys also enjoying themselves out here on the course. So another adjustment to the regular 27-hole layout at this particular location here in Sedgley Woods. 360 feet, it is a par 4. Hole 14 in this particular layout. Yeah, so that large tree, Brinster just slid to the right of that, and that's pretty much your line. You want to be to the right of that. Actually, Gleason's going kind of at it, and it does turn over. Well played shot for him. Trying to keep pace with Brinster. Let's see what Kofor's got. He's still pulling a little bit right for him. Hits a tree, kicks to the left. That's going to be a challenging second shot for him. Villa very smooth. Pretty confident with the turnover shot. Doesn't get a turnover quite enough. He'll be in some brush over there. Frederick giving it a rip. Turns through the gap beautifully. Past Gleason and Brinster. Hitting the log there. Kofor with his second shot. Trying to get it around the corner, but catching yet another tree. Villa with a padded pending stance. Almost does get to the basket. Should have a good look for a birdie from there. Gleason with his upshot. You know, Gleason really looked like he was trying to get it to the ground quickly. Kofor going with the aerial approach. Hopped over the ridge there a little. We'll see where he's at in just a minute. Brinster maybe trying to be too cute there. Frederick with a nice layup play. Brinster just laying up, not chancing in the birdie and going long there and dropping off the ridge. Villa's dropped off the ridge. Oh, and it must have rolled down the hill. He's fighting to get up back through that tangled mess down there. Second attempt. And he's up, but unfortunately that was a brutal exchange there. Gleason knocking in the birdie. Kofor was trying to salvage the par there, but above the chains, above the rings this time, and a little bit too high. A lot of tap-ins from the group now. Brinster tapping in for par. Kofor finishing up with a bogey. Villa taking the 6, taking the double. Joking with the group about his 3-putt from as close as he was. Yeah. Jason Kofor, a local product from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Pretty familiar with this course. You're getting to see him on this lead car today. Probably a little more action than some of you are used to. 15th hole, 310 feet, a par 3. little bit uphill. The tight line to the right, which Gleason's missed here. He's missed it a little bit left. That large tree again is your sight line. Let's see what Brinster's got. He's got it past that guardian tree. Stayed turned over, but that's a nice spot. You'd like it to fade back a little bit more. Again, slightly uphill. There's Frederick hitting a tree. Kofor not getting enough turn on this one. Catching some shrubbery left of the fairway. Villa trying to be smooth. Got a big kick to the left, but it may leave him a bit of an opening. Frederick just trying to get up and down at this point. Gave it a bid of sorts. A little bit short, a little bit left. Villa throwing an ante. So West Side guy, I believe he throws a pure for some of his control shots. That ante might have been one of them. Kofor with a nice up. Gleason trying to run this one for birdie. Oh my, no chains at all. I think we need another look at that one. I don't know, he had to be 70 or 80 feet away. Take a look at none of that again there. Just beautiful, hooking up, gave a good air. Barely grabbing any of the chains at the bottom there, right above the basket. This guy's come to play. Team Latitude 64 in the house. Beautiful. Brinster trying to keep pace, but can't make the birdie.
Well, I think it's cool that I'm throwing the Scorpius just for the simple fact that they produce them. It's a disc that's very similar to the Destroyer. It has a really similar feel since it was based off of the original Destroyers. It's just not as overstable. I would say for guys that don't have as much power, this is basically, you know, a long-range, multi-purpose shooter, whether it be backhand or forehand. This disc was vital right off the bat.
Don't know if you caught it there, but actually Brinster had the tap in for par and just blew it right through. So dropping another stroke there, 2-stroke swing between him and Gleason. This hole 16, 254, straight shot. It's really all about distance control at this point. It's a wide opening for these experienced players. Just a nice, easy putter stroke. Kofor getting it close there. Frederick. Just nice and easy. Catching a flag there and bouncing into circle 1. So that's 3 right there. Let's see what Brinster's got. Looked like Brinster was giving it a run there. Trying to make up for the putting with an ace. Villa nice and smooth, flipping it up. And he's into the circle as well. Could be seeing a star frame here from this crew. Kind of thing you would expect for a hole like this. Frederick starting the birdie barrage. Villa nice and easy this time, nice and controlled. Let's see if Brinster can shake the putting woes. Just like he always draws it. Nice little straddle hyzer. Gleason. Tapping in. And here's some local love coming for Jason Kofor. Takes his time. Follow the process. There you go. Star frame from the lead card in the open division. Hole 17, 480 feet. A twisting, turning, very fun hole with a tight window approach. You've either got to make the choice to go high, risk OB, or go low and skip in. It's all about setting up with this first shot off the tee. Gleason turned it over probably a little more than he wanted to. He's fading back. Getting a little roll there too. Left side of the fairway is a nice spot to be for your approach shot. Gopher seems to be struggling with a release a little bit today. I don't know if that's the pressure of being on the lead card coverage there. Frederick got his a little bit high. Caught a tree. That's going to pinch him off a little bit over there on the approach. Bridster with an early release, kicking the tree, and he is out of bounds. Really seems to be struggling here. Feeling nice and smooth. Just does sneak around the tree, turn it over. I don't know, I think he hit the guardrail and kicked back into bounds. You see Kofor trying to advance down the fairway a little bit. Brinster proceeding to the drop zone at the yellow tee, I believe it was. Getting right down in there with his third shot. Kofor recovering. Maybe far enough over to the left to give him a look, but it looks like he got caught up a bit. Still rolling down the hill. I really think Chris hit something there. Trying to commit to the Anheuser. You really have to cut that tighter to take those branches out of play, but that was the right line. Just push it a little bit too far. Frederick here got a little bit higher. It's a great recovery shot. Gleason with his approach, second shot. Going up over. Sits down nicely. Kofor trying to recover, gets a little bit high there. Tree knocks him right down. Villa with a good approach. Kofor with his up. Kind of half-hearted bid. Brinster trying to save par here. Hitting the basket. Oh, a little high for Frederick again. Frederick's going to finish out for his par. Brinster taking bogey. Gleason with another birdie. It's actually his fifth in a row here. And I believe he's caught Brinson. For a tie for first at this point. Villa finishing up his par. So we're going to move to hole 18. A par 3 downhill. There's a log going right in front of the basket. You'd like to be just over that and let the disc slide to a halt right underneath. Gleason's got a little bit low. It's going down the hill. Not a bad look from that spot. If you hit that log, you're fine. Frederick releasing it nice and easy. right over the log, parked, right inside circle run. That's exactly the shot I was talking about. Villa trying to force this one a little bit. Drifts off a little bit left, but again, that's another one of the places where you can miss, so he's got that birdie look there. Brinster looking like he's trying to guide it a little bit too much. Got it too high, caught some branches, knocked right down to the ground. Gonna have an interesting up and down from there. Kofor nice and easy. Oh, hitting the pole. Perfect line. Brinster just trying to give himself an easy up. It's going to be a tap in for par. Gleason with his 6th birdie in a row. He is absolutely on a tear. Frederick notches a birdie there. Villa will birdie as well. Kofor for a tap-in bird after Brinster just dropped in his par, messing up the star frame for the lead card. But fighting another day. 19th hole, 289 feet, par 3. Again, uphill, you've got an elevated basket from a very interesting spot. Gleason trying to turn this one over here, catching a late tree. Again, trying to throw something a little bit understable because once you clear the crest of that hill, your disc is now nose up. So it's going to be a little bit overstable when it gets to the top, and it's going to fade back. Much like Chris Villa right here. That's exactly what you're looking for. Flight-wise out of the disc, probably would have liked to have pushed it a little bit further. Kofor not getting enough turnover again. He had a similar problem a few holes going on uphill. I believe it was 16. So a similar shot. Brinster's 1 stroke behind now, giving away that 5-stroke lead he had coming into the final 9 here. Getting an unfortunate kick to the right. Gleason giving it a run. Got a natural backstop there for anything that gets a little bit low. You just don't want to sail anything high here. Kofor giving it a bit as well. Brinster with an interesting ante approach. At this point, he's a stroke behind. He's got to go for it. And did give it a run. Frederick running it as well. Oh, and the iron unkind, just bouncing off the cage. Villa having a bit of the yips here through this back 10 here. Trouble with the putter. Brinster with a nice awkward stance on this very unique basket location. Just a simple pitch and catch at this point. Villa finishing up as well. So nobody really taking tremendous advantage here. Going to be pars for the entire card coming down to the final hole. Gleason climbing up the stump there. Hole number 20. Got OB on the left and OB Road on the right, heading toward North 33rd Street. Again, you'll be able to see Center City in the background there to the right. Flag whip around pretty good. Looks like it's not exactly a direct headwind, but you can see Gleason turns that one over there and it becomes a cut roller and he's OB. Frederick trying to throw something overstable there. I'm not sure what he's got there, and he just does slide out of bounds. He fought the headwind well. Villa tries to flip this one up. It is turning over, but he is still going to be in bounds. So something not quite as overstable as he may have thought. Brinster going to try to flip something up here. May have gotten a little bit of nose up and the wind caught it because it's fading out. The benefit is that he is a good ways down this hole. Will still have the opportunity to save a par. Kofer on a flat release. Yeah, that's definitely a headwind. You know, I feel like these guys were trying to push that right side and let something come back over stable. Gleason with his up now. Catching a tree and knocking down, but that's still not bad. He's still about 20 feet to save a bogey. Kofer with a nice upshot. Kind of an air bounce, trying to get below those branches that Gleason hit. Villa also contending with those branches, so just keeping it low, and he's going to take his par with an easy up. Frederick, who just did slide OB, trying to save his par. You know, this wind is very difficult, especially with an elevated basket. Brinster trying to save his par and force a playoff. Oh, and just does sail by. It was low as well. Gleason does save the bogey there, finishing at 12 under with a hot round, 6 under for the day. It is over for Brinster. He is not going to be able to catch him. Oh, and just airmails that one. And now off the top of the basket, Brinster has just come completely unraveled here. Very unfortunate. And again with a miss. And he is going to drop in for a quadruple bogey, +1 on the day, and drop to 8 under after starting this back 10 at 12 under with a 5-shot lead. Villa finishing up the par. Kofer finishing up his par as well. Frederick trotting over to drop in his bogey to finish his round and complete the tournament finish for this lead card open division. So now it's just all about tallying up the scores, seeing where everybody stands. Brinster still looks a little disappointed, just like he doesn't know what went wrong, doesn't know where it fell apart, but very disappointed in his performance today. So Kevin Gleason is your winner of the 2019 Philadelphia Disc Golf Open here at Sedgley Woods. Coming from behind with an impressive performance, 6 birdies in a row there on the back 10, overtaking Steve Brinster. Chase card was quite impressive as well. Justin Reed and Andrew Fish sneaking up into a tie of second with Steve Brinster with 4 unders, a pair of 4 unders right there. And you can see Richard Sassaman snuck in there with a 3 under. Nice round there to get on top of some of those lead card players. Appreciate you joining us today. Make sure you follow Gatekeeper Media, subscribe, follow us on Patreon and Instagram. And as always, grow the sport, grow disc golf, and keep on throwing those flipping discs.